Okay, it seems like we are live now. Everything should be good.
Beautiful.
All right. Shabbat Shalom. All right. The hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem,
Hashem,
Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakadash. All right. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Rule well. And I've taught this word in truth and sincerity. All right. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, starting with 144,000. Okay. That's also pushing this word in truth and sincerity. It's full course of the earth. All right. I'm your fellow servant Lamar. Okay. And I got with me the elder brother Malak. And we are of GMS Toronto. Okay. Coming at you with another live lesson. And Shabbat Shalom. If I didn't already say that, we're in the Shabbat. Okay. And this live lesson is going to be another edition of Doomsday Prophecies. Okay. Doomsday Prophecies. As we are the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Shai, chanting down Babylon the Great, aka America, and the rulership, all right, of Esau Edom, aka the so-called white man, so-called Caucasian. Okay, and we're at the end of this man's rulership. Okay, so as you see the title, DISS is X. Okay, DISS is X. I don't got much to say on it right now, as far as the prelude goes. Okay, so Malak, if you got something you want to open up with, we'll get right into it.
Straight, yes. You know where I'm going. Deuteronomy 28 and 59. It was prophesied. This was prophesied. So I'm going to read from the Deuteronomy 28 and 59 to the 61st verse, right? And just hold it right there, right? Simply put, so this is Deuteronomy 28 and 59, KJV. It says, then the Lord, it's italicized here, Yahweh, will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues. Now, this word here, wonderful, real quick, I just looked it up. I'll be quick with this because it's straightforward. The word there for wonderful in the Hebrew, right there, it's Pawlaw, 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 right? And the word there, wonderful, goes back to
in the Hebrew. Let's get into actual Hebrew.
Right.
Not in Esau's Hebrew, which is Yiddish, but in the actual original Hebrew, it's like you said, Pala, or Pala'ah, Pala'ah or Pala.
Okay.
Sorry, it's Pala'ah, Pala'ah.
Pala'ah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You got it.
Right, which that word in English, wonderful, translate also to the word extraordinary. Okay, or marvelously hard when you go into it. So these plagues that are coming, that has come, what we've had before in history, which was prophecy when it happened, leading up to this time. Yes, people are going to be blown away. They won't understand what is going on. Okay, simply put. And it says, it goes on to say, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, okay, and of long continuance, you see, and sore sickness, and long continuance. So the Lord is in control of everything that you see that's happening in regards to plagues and sickness, right? He gives the order, and by the way, you can't tell what he's actually doing. You people out there, that's why it says it's gonna be wonderful. It'll be hard for you to figure out, but we know that he controls the elements and he's in control. Go ahead, brother. You're gonna say something.
No, you know what? I actually, because I was actually looking at some of the other definitions for wonderful too, and it just goes into everything you've been saying. It's like, where's that word now? Wonderful, yeah. And my mistake, I said Pala'ah, it's actually Pala.
Oh, Pala. Okay.
Pala. See, it's Pala. Okay. So in the Hebrew, but like, yeah, there was this definition here. It says to be beyond one's power,
That's right.
be difficult to do, right? To be difficult to understand, right? People, low willing this ease X comes. Okay, Yahweh it comes, and yes, we are praying for this ease X to come, because the only way out of this man's rulership and into the kingdom of heaven is through what the Lord is getting ready to bring to destroy this place.
That's right.
Okay, and the wickedness of this place. So yes, we're calling in disease X if it's the Yahweh Bashim Shai's will. Okay, we stand on that boldly.
Straight.
It says here to be wonderful, like you've mentioned, be extraordinary, right? And hey, C19 and this ease X was not written in the scriptures, but yet it was in spirit and truth.
That's right.
Okay, marvelous. And to separate, isn't that what the first one did? Right? It created great separation between people, families, right? Households, right? To do extraordinary or hard or difficult thing, which life will become a lot more difficult. All right. When this thing comes, it says, yeah, that's it. That's basically it. That's all.
Straight. I chuckled when you were speaking, because the word wonderful and the word extraordinary for wonderful in English, it has the word ordain, right? Going back to the ordain. So the Lord ordained these plagues, and when simply put, when He brings it forth, all of those things that was just mentioned goes into the minds of the people who you starting with you wicked, and of course 2/3 of Israel. It's going to bug your mind out, right?
Exactly.
Just like when something happens. Remember that New Jersey thing that happened, and the whole shore of New Jersey was ripped up, and the people was going, "Oh, this is an act of God. What is it?" They just couldn't. We've had hundreds of these things, but this was the one that stood out in my mind when it destroyed the coast. And the only thing that they could say, they never said, all praises to the Most High, your power. They said, oh, we're going to build back.
Of course not.
But yeah, that's the mindset of these people, Salakia, that they're going to be in total confusion, total hardness, But anyway, just wanted to say, it was ordained. You can't stop it.
Fine. That's it on this?
Just two more. It says, moreover, He will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Right? And here's the point. Deuteronomy 28:61, it says, also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Right? So these plagues were designed for the wicked, and the wicked of Israel. Simply put, now that doesn't mean that we're not going to be a part of it, the elect, but the Lord has provided a way out. It's called mercy. Okay, that's the point.
Yeah, I'm gonna read through it quickly in NLT. It says, verse 59, then the Lord Yahweh will overwhelm you and your children with indescribable plagues, because the what do you call it, the symptoms and the effects of this new disease will be unmanageable. It will be unmanageable, but unimaginable. Okay, we're gonna see, Yahweh Ratazah, we're gonna see a lot of horrific deaths with this disease. Okay, and the timing, all right, it's not just a coincidence. Okay, the first time C19 came into play, all right, who was in office? All right, DJ Trump. And guess who's in office? And guess who's in office now? the same man, DJ Trump,
Cruel.
right? Reloaded, right? Narrow 47 reloaded.
That's
Okay,
right.
because he's in his second term. And it was right around this time that we were hearing about C-19, and then come March, middle of March, they locked down all of Ontario and Canada and the rest of the world as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's not a coincidence. Remember, Esau Edom is not creative; he is deceptive.
That's
So he
right.
uses the same tricks that he's used in the past, but he uses them in certain time periods. Okay.
That's right.
So, anyways, it says, then the Lord Yahweh will overwhelm you with your children, overwhelm you and your children with indescribable plagues. These plagues will be intense and without relief,
See? Sore.
making you miserable and unbearably sick.
Yeah.
It says verse 60. He will afflict you with all the diseases of Egypt that you feared so much, and you will have no relief.
See?
Okay, and they're talking about how there's not going to be which it wasn't relief for the C-19. All right, the serpent juice. There wasn't a relief. It was presented as a form of relief, but that's the serpent. All right, he was deceiving the masses because they wanted destroy a large amount of the population. Okay, so but this one they're saying that it's not even going to be a poison. There's not even going to be a serpent juice for this one. So that gives you insight on how severe this one's going to be.
That's right.
Because these devils, they know they have a short time, so the only so-called relief for this one will lead to what? The mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip.
I call it
6-point play. Yeah, 6-point play. Yeah, that's a good one. So 61, verse 61, it says, the Lord Yahweh will afflict you with every sickness and plague there is, even those not mentioned in this book of instructions. That should put fear in your heart in the right way. If you believe in Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay, because these people they're not going to have any way out of what the Lord is getting ready to bring. Okay. Anyways, it says, not mentioned in this book, it says, until you are destroyed. Okay. So now let's get this. All right. So this is from Jason A. Okay. It has begun. DISS X chilling warning. Okay. So fair use. We are not receiving any monetization for this video at all. All right, we're only sharing this video for educational purposes only. So fair use.
Outbreak of a deadly virus in India has much of the world on high.
Funny enough, it's in India, and the most amount of Elamites are really outside of India are here in Canada, in particular Ontario.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's interesting.
The outbreak of a deadly virus in India has much of the world on high alert, with fears of another pandemic. Travellers are being stopped and screened for Nipah virus at all major Asian airports, including Bali. The global response to the outbreak eerily similar to scenes during COVID.
Another issue on the agenda is a panel dedicated to the so-called disease X, a hypothetical pathogen that may cause new pandemic many times more deadly than COVID. What do you expect to come out of those talks?
Today, the World Economic Forum actually has a whole session on this about disease X. And what people are really worried about, and by the way, none of these sessions have anything on it about improved biolab safety. What people are worried about is creation of all these pathogens in these labs and then having another security breach, and then we're off to getting the world sick again.
Health officials in India have confirmed cases of the deadly Nipah virus. That's prompted authorities across Southeast Asia to boost security measures, including screenings at some airports. The World Health Organization lists Nipah as a priority disease due to its potential for fast-moving outbreaks.
Well, we know what disease X is. The governments from Russia to China to the U.S. to France the Japanese, they all know what diseases are here. You have new mutations of diseases, but there's no disease X. There's a new mutation of an already existing.
I'm sorry, but this guy, Alex Jones, you know, he's going through, you know, them demons are plaguing him. He always looks heavier. Now he looks bigger.
Yeah, he looks bigger. That's spirit. I noticed it, but you know.
Yeah, he looks heavier, man. These guys, it's because they come in contact with the prophets and the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, and you know, they get plagued with spirits. You know, just like you know, Vocab Malone. Over the years, dealing with the apostles, he's gotten heavy. Heavy. Okay, talk about Pillsbury Doughboy.
Bill Hicks from Bill Hicks.
All know what diseases are here. You have new Russia to China to the U.S. to France, the Japanese. They all know what diseases are here. You have new mutations of diseases, but there's no disease X. There's a new mutation of an already existing disease. So disease X is a holding place or a catch-all for gain of function bioweapons, where they genetically splice viruses and also mutate viruses with radiation and other techniques to make them more communicable and more deadly.
Officials in the U.S.
Yeah, he's right. And, you know, he also mentioned that disease X is what? A mutation of C19. Okay. So what's really unknown is the mutation. Okay. Well, to us at least. But they're the ones releasing it. So I got this here in chat real quick, going into gain of function. What is that, right? Illegal gain of function. Some of you out there don't know what that is. Some of you already know what that is. But let's get this here in chat. Yeah, okay. So it says here, why gain of function became a dirty phrase in or after 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Before 2020, and it's funny that it specifically named the year 2020 because we know what happened that year.
Mm-hmm.
So showing you what C19 was. Anyways, it was a legal gain of function, but it says why gain of function became a dirty phrase after 2020. Before 2020, it was a technical term whispered in labs. After 2020, it became a moral landmine. Why? Because the public realized three uncomfortable truths.
Mm-hmm.
The research was real, no hypothetical,
Mm-hmm.
not fringed. Governments had funded it for years. Number two, the risk wasn't abstract. When a global, I don't even know if I can say this word, but I say epidemic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When a global epidemic hits, suddenly low probability lab accidents stops sounding the alarm or stop sounding academic. I'll read that again. When a global epidemic hits, suddenly low probability lab accident stop sounding academic. Number three, definitions got slippery. Officials said we don't fund gain of function, then quietly added as we define it. It says words became umbrellas. Umbrellas hide a lot. Okay, this is why, you know, starting with the apostles on down, you know, they've exhorted us to what? Look up our words, because that's where Esau hides a lot. He hides a lot of his intentions through words, his vocabulary. Okay. Let's see. I just want to get the main points here. Okay, I'll get a little bit here. So it says here, okay, states the Eagles without saying its name. Okay, so it says the loopholes. This is the key part. Here's how gain of function stays legal without saying its name. Rebranding. They avoid the phrase and use softer language, enhance pathogen or pathogenicity. Pathogenicity Yeah, pathogenesis studies, functional adaptation, directed evolution, same engine, new paint. Right. So, we get it. They hide, the truth through their words. So getting to the point here, I just want to get to the point. It says here, legal versus illegal gain of function, the razor's edge. A legal gain of function is clear cut. Weaponization, okay? Military use. And who are they weaponizing? They're weaponizing viruses, right? They're weaponizing viruses, okay, to use on whom? The people, the population. Right? To get rid of multiple people. Okay. It says military use, covert deployment, no oversight, no containment. Legal gain of function differs mostly in intent and documentation, not always in capability. That's the part no one likes to say out loud. Okay. Restricted becomes judgment. Okay, this is not bad. It says the old wisdom and the warning. This isn't new. It's ancient. Man has already said we must know so we can protect ourselves. And history replies, yes, but knowledge without restraint becomes judgment. It says, which means, what is that in the scripture? The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
Not wisdom. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
1922.
Right. So it says fire warms the house, but fire also burns cities. So they're mad scientists, all right? Simply put, they're mad scientists. They have all these different particles and viruses and agents, right? And they splice them. They add things to them. They put them under radiation. They enhance them, right? So they becomes worse than it originally is. This is what you call illegal gain of function. So you could do the same thing, so-called legally, under whatever laws that they write up. But know this, that the laws that they write up and the terms that they use, like gain of function or legal gain of function, is really just there for the masses. Esau's not following his own rules. Okay? He's not even following the Most High's rules. So what makes you think he's going to follow his own rules? Okay? He just has him there on the forefront so that the people and the masses, all right, are beguiled by his terms, okay, and are beguiled completely, totally. Okay? So when you go into gain of function, oh wow, I kind of skipped over this. Okay, let me this is okay, so number 2, it says splitting the work. One lab does the risky modification, another lab does the testing. Each claims innocence. Together they've built the whole machine. Okay, and you're going to hear in this video that what they've done is they've been caught in America doing illegal gain of function. So what did they do? They just moved the research and transferred it overseas. And then that way they can blame, Moab. It came from China, right? But they were originally studying it over in America. It's just that they moved it and transferred it over to China. So this is what chat is talking about when it says one lab does the risky modifications, another lab does the testing. Each claims innocence. Together they build the whole machine. It's legal judo. It's legal judo. Use separation to dodge responsibility.
Loophole.
Right? Sorry?
Loophole.
Yeah.
We didn't mention
Number 3.
Go ahead.
Number 3, it says foreign outsourcing. This is what I was talking about. Foreign outsourcing. A country funds research abroad where oversight is weaker, laws are different, liabilities is murky. Paper stays clean, hands stay washed. Right? Number 4, these are all the different aspects of illegal gain of function. Okay, just going through them right now. It says number 4, plain defensive intent. The magic word to prepare for the future pandemics. And remember, Bill Gates, right, been using this phrase, right? They set up global think tanks, okay, because are under the guise that they have to what? Prepare for future pandemics. Okay, but that's what are they performing? Illegal gain of function, witchcraft. Really, when you get into it, biblically, it's just witchcraft. That's all it is. It says, once spoken, almost anything can walk through the door. Yeah, exactly. Intent becomes the shield, even if outcomes look identical to offense, because legal gain of function, you're supposed to be doing these things for defensive purposes. Illegal gain of function is when you do it for offensive purposes. So like it becomes a bioweapon. Okay. So anyhow, just wanted to get that out for educational purposes only. So I'm so used to saying that educational purposes only because we don't want to get a strike.
Straight.
But I want to get this precept here. This is Psalm 64:5. Okay. And it reads, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. Right? Who's the they? The top wicked elite, the global elite, and all their stooges, all right, under them. They commune of laying snares privately or privily, they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay? But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. And when you go into this word arrow, right, it actually goes into, it means divide. Right? So he's causing division.
That's right.
Among Esau, Edom.
That's
right. And like Yahweh Shai said, what? The house is divided. If Esau's house is divided, how can it stand? So these Edomites are divided, even if, you know, in certain areas they're in unison. In a lot of areas, from the very top all the way down, they're divided. Okay, because you got basically Esau, all the other Edomites versus the Amalekite Edomite, basically. Okay, and that the Amalekites are a different kind of Edomites, man. So it says, but Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. All right, just to back up my point about that word, I'll get it for you, okay? And the word there is ta-tazah, okay? And it says arrow, but when you go into the etymology, right? And this is the etymology. The word in etymology is ha-I-tazah, okay? And it means what? To divide. You see? It says to be cut off, to be finished. Okay? So that's what the Lord's doing. Now, let's get this precept in NLT. It says here, Psalm 64:5 NLT, they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. And that's what the C19 was. That's what the pandemic was. Okay, and that's what this DISS X is. And everything else surrounding this wicked society is all a part of their evil plan, their agenda. Okay, it says they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. As they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me continue reading down. It says, verse 8. Or actually, no, that's the point. That's the point. Now, real quick, I pulled this up in chat concerning this verse because, the heart is deep, right? Verse 6. They search out iniquities. Okay, so they're looking up ways to basically destroy the population as much as they can, because it's easier to control a small amount of people than it is a vast amount of people. Okay, so you look up all kind of different iniquities and search up all kind of different things. And I asked chat to apply Psalm 64:6 to the wicked, right?
Mhm.
So it says here, it says this verse. Actually, I'll get right to the point. It says, when knowledge turns dark. It says, in a biblical frame, knowledge itself is neutral, but intent tilts it towards life or death. Okay? You hear that? It says, in a biblical frame, knowledge itself is neutral, but intent tilts it towards life or death. And
Wow.
2 Corinthians 11 and I think 11 and 2, 11 and 12, or 2 Corinthians 12 and 11 says we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? When you go into that word devices, the Greek word there, it means what? Intent. Okay, so we know this devil's intent. Every time something comes out, we know the intent behind what he's bringing out. All right, so it says, so when people apply this verse to forbidden or unethical research, right, which is illegal gain of function, that's what that is. The parallel isn't just science equals evil. The parallel is deep minds plus deep secrecy plus deep corruption equals deep wickedness. And that's true. Okay. And look, so I mentioned gain of function as moral symbol.
Mhm.
From a theological lens, illegal or unethical gain of function research becomes a modern example of what Scripture already warned about. Pushing past Yahweh, I'll read it verbatim, pushing past God-given boundaries, which they can't do that, but they've done that in a sense, where Esau, through his technology, his sorceries, his enchantments, and ultimately the New World Order by the way of the chip, is trying to recreate everything in his image.
Mhm.
Okay, so instead of having fruits that have seeds, he's giving you seedless fruits. Right? Instead of getting your meat from a cow, he's giving you lab-grown meat, so on and so forth. Okay. It says tempting, because the Lord did also say that he has set the bounds for this devil that he cannot pass.
Pass.
Does he know those bounds? No, he doesn't, because the pride of his heart has deceived him.
Mhm.
You see, but we know the bounds because Yahweh told Pontius Pilate, there's nothing you can do to me unless the Lord, all right, in heaven, Yahweh in heaven has sanctioned it. Okay. So it says tampering with creation without moral restraint. And that's Esau Edom to the teeth. Okay. Justifying harm under the banner of progress. You see? Hiding dangerous work behind secrecy and authority. Okay. The authority comes by the way of the pen, the laws, right? Isaiah 10. Okay. Woe to them that prescribe unrighteous decrees.
Please. That's
Okay.
right. That's Isaiah 10 and 1. Right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. It says whether ancient sorcerers, alchemists, or modern lab elites, the pattern is identical. Let us see how far we can go. This is a quote. Let us see how far we can go and worry about the consequences later.
Oh.
That's Esau Edom to the T, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it says that's not curiosity, that's hubris. And hubris is always a prelude to judgment, just like before pride comes before destruction, and haughtiness before a fall. Okay, same thing. Of course, let me look up that word hubris. Yeah, it says hubris, the self-assured hubris among economists was shaken in the late 19th. Yeah, so what does it mean though? So anyways, excessive pride or self-confidence. That's what it is. Excessive. All right, so continuing on. Skip down here. It says population control as a theological fear. So in scripture, life is sacred image bearing, counted by Yahweh. I'll read it verbatim, God himself. So when any elite class beings or any elite class begins to speak or act as though humanity is a problem to be managed, reduced, or optimized, okay, scripture recognizes the ascent immediately. That's Pharaoh's logic. That's Herod's logic. That's Antichrist logic, which there isn't just one Antichrist. There is multiple Antichrists. If you are against the doctrine of Yahushua, okay, which is also the doctrine of the apostles on down, you are Antichrist, okay?
That's right.
The followers of Yahushua were called Christians first in Antioch. It says here, just a little bit more and that'll be it. Okay, so final word. Yeah. Ooh, this is pretty good. Actually, I'll get this. It says Psalms built-in rebuttal. The wicked search deeply, but the Psalms doesn't end there. Right? It quotes, but God will shoot at them with arrows. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Meaning, no secrecy is airtight. Okay? No secrecy is airtight.
That's right.
No research is beyond high sight or slack it. No research is beyond his sight. Talking about the Most High Yahweh Shai. No elite is untouchable. They probe creation to master it. God probes hearts to judge them. One searches ends in exposure. One search ends in exposure. That's right. So that's the search of the Most High, which is, happening via the prophets, okay, and via the Holy Spirit with the scriptures. The final word, it says, read Psalm 64:6 as a warning, not a headline. It tells us this much is always true. When powerful men pursue knowledge divorced from reverence, when secrecy replaces accountability, when human life becomes expendable, they are no longer explorers. They are conspirators against creation itself.
That's right. That's why
And
Psalm 64 came out. Yeah.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. And scripture has never been kind to those who play God.
That's right.
That's right.
Sweet.
Okay, so that's it on that.
Beautiful.
You got it.
I got a quick one because you brought up the word authority, and that's a strong word. Okay. And he has an authority to do evil and, of course, play both sides. So I'm going to go to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. It's a bit here simple. The 2nd chapter and the 10th verse, because the intent, once he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth in secret, but it's not a secret anymore. So this is one of the ends in regards to what he's doing twofold in wickedness, pretending to be righteous and being wicked. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 2, and I'm going to read, simply put, from verse, verse 8 to 10, right? To 11, actually, right? Just take a piece out of there. It says, let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and out lot is this. Let us oppress the poor, righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age.
Yeah, so
Take
exactly.
It back.
And what's his name? Rockefeller, when he was talking to Aaron Russo, right? He had mentioned to Aaron Russo, he said, why do you care about these people? Why do you care about them? Yeah, they don't care about you. You should only think about you and your family. Why do you care about these people? Right? Showing you, the mindset of these devils, man. They have no concept of humanity whatsoever. So the scripture is on point when it says, when it's going into the secret conversations of the wicked. Okay, let us oppress the poor, righteous man. They're starting with the Israelites.
That's right.
Okay, out of all the people on the planet they want to oppress, the Israelite man, starting with the Israelite man and the woman and child, right, is who they're after. Okay, especially those of us that have the truth. All right, it says, let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. And guess what? These top wicked elite are so wicked that they mean this towards Israel first and foremost, but they also mean it towards their own nation.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? That's why they allow all these different plagues and the irises. Okay, I gotta say it like that. I don't know if I can say the word. I mean, I should be able to say the word virus, Lord willing. But that's why they allow these viruses, like the major one, C19, okay, to come out when they did. They don't care about who catches or who dies and how they die. They don't give a shit. They want the mass amount of people gone. Okay, and the Lord's put that spirit in him because this man is the Most High's hand on the left-hand side. Okay, he's the sinister side. He's the sinister side of the Most High's personality. Take that in. That's Esau Edom. You got it.
Wow, straight. I'm going to read to verse 12. This verse here, Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 11, covers pretty much what you went into Psalm 64. It says, let our strength be the law of justice, on righteous decrees. For
That's
what?
Right. That's right.
Simply put, right? Hey, we promise you this, promise you that. And then, come on, man. And it says, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Okay. And,
slack it.
No, take your time.
But even the vibration of his laws, all right, is wicked. It's unrighteous. And what I mean by that is, remember when the C19 happened, what did they have everybody do? They had everybody stand 6 feet apart.
That's right.
And we know that number 6, 6 feet, 6 inches, 666, right?
Straight.
You got it.
Okay, and he told us that's a good thing. Yeah.
Exactly. But out of all the numbers they could have chosen, 7, 8 feet apart, 3 feet apart, 4 feet apart, but they chose 6 for a reason, man.
That's
all right.
Right.
It says the scriptures tell us that that's the number of a man, a certain man, who Esau Edom.
That's right.
The wicked man.
Tell on himself. Beautiful. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. See, and he is clean, contrary to our doings. Right? Simply put. So yes, the elect, the Lord's elect. Let's start with them, of the house, the Lord's house. Okay, In the end of all of this thing, they'll be cleaned by the Lord, but they'll be wrongly accused. No doubt about it. Okay, no doubt about it. They'll be the we'll be the scapegoat. The elect is going to be the Lord's scapegoat, and He promised that He's going to deliver them. So anyway, that's why it says clean and contrary to our doings. And then it says, He upbraideth us with our offending the law and objected to our infamy, the transgression of our education. Yeah. Take your time.
Exactly. The transgression of our education. Yep. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Exactly what we do. Wow. Through these lessons, these electronic epistles. But the word upbraideth also goes into rebuking.
See?
Right? So it says He upbraideth us with our offending of the law. He damn right we do. And we don't just rebuke Esau, Edom, but we rebuke Jake. Okay.
I'm going to hold off there. There's more. We may come back to it if the Spirit impresses you. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to drive home the point of the law of justice, and simply put, what we mentioned in regard is the Lord's elect. It's all good. Go ahead, brother.
U.S. tonight are monitoring a deadly virus that is spreading overseas. Airports in the Southeast Asia are now heightening their airport screenings. Raf Sanchez is following this from London for us. And Raf, what more do we know?
So, Tom, airports across the region are stepping up their screening for what's known as the Nipah virus. This is a far more deadly virus than COVID. It has a fatality rate of between 50 and 75%, according to the World Health Organization. Now, it's usually carried by fruit bats, and human-to-human transmission seems to be rare, but there is no vaccine at this point, which is why these two cases in India are being taken so seriously. The Indian Ministry of Health says it's been doing contact tracing, and it believes the virus is contained, and the CDC says it is monitoring the situation, and it stands ready to assist if needed.
The Nipah virus infection is very dangerous. Firstly, it has no cure. There's no specific treatment, and no medicine works. Secondly, there is no vaccine or inoculation for it. And the third thing is that the mortality rate is very high.
Nipah was first detected in Malaysia in 1998. Since then, small outbreaks, mostly in Bangladesh, have been contained. While the virus can spread between humans, scientists warn airport screenings may be ineffective as the incubation period can be long.
It's about 1 to 2 weeks, maybe a little bit sooner in some, and sometimes a lot longer than that. I think the longest has been 45 days. And what this means is that it's actually very difficult to control at airports.
Experts say the Nipah virus has not...
Yeah, because what he's mentioning is he used the term the incubative stage of the virus. So incubative means it's still being formed. It's in an incubator like a baby. So usually that's only supposed to last a week or whatever. But he says the longest that's, I guess, the longest that any virus has ever lasted is 45 days, which makes it hard to track. Shut the hell up. You devils are fucking retarded, all right? We know that you're lying. And even if you're not lying, you're a two-time loser, because you really believe that with all the technology Esau has that he can't detect, all right? He has to wait 45 days for it for him to be able to go into it and search it and detect it and get rid of it. No, they have the technology to do that, but it's all about the intent, right? People don't understand the true intent of the global elite. They don't understand that. Even these health experts globally, and these scientists and these chemists, all of them, some of them at the very top definitely understand the intent. They're a part of it, but a lot of them don't. All right, so they're caught up just as much as the regular person. Okay.
Can I mention this real quick? 2018. I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it in general. In India, millions of people have the digital identification, right? This is documented. This is nothing new. So we're back here again. We're back there again, right? In regards to that intent. But hey, by the way, we want that digital ID to happen because it's part of prophecy. So I'm just saying part of that intent, and millions of people in India received it, and most of them are poor. I'm just going to leave it at that, right? And I know for a fact because I did a video on it and it was flagged because I said too much. But digital identification, Bill Gates was in there, and he did his. It's called Gavi, okay? So it's no big deal in regards to what he's doing. But yes, he has two faces. On his left face, I'm talking about Esau. Real quick, my last point. The left face is the liar, and the right face pretends to be doing good.
Yeah, he has a forked tongue.
Yeah, there you go. He split it. Well, yeah, India is our main spot.
That's right.
But anyway, that's all I'm saying.
It's about 1 to 2 weeks, maybe a little bit sooner in some, and sometimes a lot longer than that. I think the longest has been.
Oh, Slaki. Yeah, the incubative stage. The reason why he's mentioning it is because they supposedly can't do anything about it when it's in the incubative stage, so they can't close down airports. So that's what makes it hard to control, because if it's in the incubative stage for 45 days, then people can travel and do whatever they want and carry this virus from one end of the earth to the other, from that country to this country. All right. Yeah, they can do that, and they can go unchecked. That's the point, right? So once they get past it, he's going to explain it, but once they get past the incubative stage, then they can cut down. Then they can stop air travel. But remember this: just like C19, by the time they get to the point of stopping air travel, it's too late. It's already spread.
Right, and we know the intent of who's they're gonna corral first. I'm not gonna say anything else. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man.
First.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother.
Sometimes a lot longer than that. I think the longest has been 45 days. And what this means is that it's actually very difficult to control airports.
Experts say the Nipah virus has not yet shown signs of becoming more transmissible among humans or spreading easily worldwide, but it remains a significant public health concern.
And so we have the UN that wants a worldwide treaty to take control of nation states and borders and transportation and trade with their UN pandemic treaty, really trying to establish a corporate world government, the name of it, hyping up disease X and saying it's going to kill 50 million people and it's imminent. Well, how can they be developing a vaccine for a disease that doesn't exist yet? And we know in China, in the United States, in Ukraine, all over the world, Western governments have been caught producing weaponized biological weapons in these labs, not for defensive purposes, but for offensive purposes. You know, top scientists have reported it would take 1 billion years for, in perfect conditions, for the COVID-19 to occur naturally. 5 different viruses from around the world spliced together. It's basically impossible. And so what we have is illegal gain of function going on around the world. In 2015, it was.
You see? So that's why I went into that earlier. Illegal gain of function. So he's saying the environment needed for these disease X to get to where they're saying it is now, it would take, he said 100 million years. That's what he said.
1 billion years, he said.
Or 1 billion years, right? So in other words, the fact that it's gotten to this point means that there was an illegal gain of functioning happening, which is when they basically increase the environment of whatever virus they're studying so that it can become reckless, right? He's a mad scientist. He's going in and adding, well, he's going to break it down, actually, and I'm going to get the free stuff.
5 different viruses from around the world spliced together. It's basically impossible. And so what we have is illegal gain of function going on around the world. In 2015, it was a big scandal when Obama was caught allowing gain of function at the University of Texas, Galveston, and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So they then moved it to Wuhan. So when they released it, they could then have plausible deniability about who'd made it.
You know, vaccine developers have been talking about disease X.
Yeah, and that's true. They get probable deniability about who did it. They have to move it to Wuhan. Now, okay, look at this real quick. because I asked chat, what is legal gain of function, right? So short answer, legal or illegal, it's the same thing when you read it. Gain of function means research that intentionally enhances a biological organism, right? So when he said that the environment needed for it to get to where it is now would take 1 billion years, you know, he's also saying that illegal gain of function was happening. So Esau Edom, like the mad scientist he is, was intentionally enhancing biological organisms, their abilities within the bounds of law, but he doesn't follow his law. So when in the bounds of chaos is what you could say here.
That's right.
All right. That's it. No cloak and dagger, just paperwork, oversight, and permitted aims. But chat has to say what he has to say. So it says, what is gain of function? What does gain of function actually mean? It's research where scientists add or amplify a function in a living system. Usually a virus, bacterium, or cell. Examples: making a virus replicate more efficiently in a lab, in lab cells. Altering a pathogen to study how it might mutate. Enhancing a protein so it binds better to a receptor. This is biology's version of stress testing the bridge before the flood. Okay. Illegal. Yeah. Okay. So now let's get this precept here. I want to get this is Isaiah 47:10. All right. In the King James, it says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness." And you know what? Actually, let me start at 8. It says Isaiah 47:8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that say in thine heart, I am, and no one, and none else beside me. Right? And who else said this? Who's the first man to say this? Yahweh. Okay, Yahweh said this. So that shows you, America, right, has a spirit of pride that's against the Most High Himself. All right, the very energy and infrastructure and vibration of America is pride towards the Most High and His Son on down. Okay, I am, and no one else is beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. This is the mindset of the American people. Okay, they believe that America will be made great again, and they will continue on in the so-called American dream, which is a nightmare. It's always been a nightmare. It's now just being exposed. Okay, NLT says what? Oh, you want to say something?
No, evil and bad times.
Con, exactly.
Oh.
All right. NLT says, listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. Right? So it's talking about a particular kingdom. Okay? And the capital of Esau Edom's kingdom, which is Esau Edom's kingdom, spreads throughout the four corners of the earth, because Job 9:24 says that the Lord has given the world into the hand of the wicked. Right? But the capital of this wicked kingdom is America.
That's right.
Living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one and there is none other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. And I'll continue this in NLT. It says, well, both these things will come upon you in a moment. Widowhood and the loss of children. Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft, and magic. So all right, all the all right, that have the spiritual answers to help you when disasters and epidemics and epidemics come, they're not gonna be able to help
That's right.
you. Okay. Especially here in America. This is gonna be global, but the focus is America.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, you know what? Let me just read that same verse in the King James because it gives us more. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children, widowhood, and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection. Damn. For the multitude, right? For the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. Okay? So this is judgment for all the wickedness that Esau Edom has been able to practice, all right, through America and expanding that throughout the four corners of the earth. Because America, okay, is basically the wand of Esau Edom to enchant the world. Okay,
right.
And Hollywood is the wand of America. Okay, it says here, verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, right? Your science, your pseudoscience, okay, which is false knowledge. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly. Okay, suddenly, which thou shalt not know. NLT, so disaster will overtake you. You won't be able to charm your way. You won't be able to charm it away, right? So, again, your health ministers and your health experts are not going to be able to charm what the Lord, all right, is getting ready to bring.
That's right.
Okay. It says calamity will fall, and when I say charm, I mean by the way of their pseudoscience and technology. Okay. Calamity will fall upon you, and you won't be able to buy your way out. And catastrophe will strike you suddenly. Yeah, because when the C-19 happened, what did they do to keep the economy afloat? They just kept printing more dollars. This time around, they're not going to be doing that. They're going to move towards digital ID. Okay, UBI. Okay, because if this disease X, which the IRS is it comes, if it comes like how C-19 came and then some, the whole economy is going to completely collapse. Global economy is going to collapse. So you think they're going to be printing out dollars to give to people? No, they're going to move ahead with their agenda in terms of the MOTB, the mark of the beast, via digital identity, digital currency, okay, and UBI, universal base income. So it says, and you won't be able to buy your way out of it. Yeah, a catastrophe will strike you suddenly, one for which you are not prepared. People are not, and hey, when you read the comments for this disease X, people are not prepared for this. Even though, yeah, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, they are not prepared for this disease X. Okay. Yeah, two more verses. So it says, stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, thou be able to profit. If so, be thou if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels, Let now the astrologers, stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up. So again, all your health professionals, your top and scientists, chemists, right, of all sort, let them come forward and give you the answer to the Lord's judgment. They can't. It's the Lord's judgment. The only answer to what's coming, all right, is this truth. Isaiah 33:6. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. Okay? And the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So the only answer to protection, and not really answer, but the only protection in the time of the Lord's judgment, in the time of destruction, is this truth. All right, and you being of the whole full elect. Okay, it says, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Okay, so the American people are done, as well as the rest of the world.
Done.
They're done. They're finished, man. They're mentally not gonna be able to deal with another C-19. Okay, not gonna be able to deal with that.
No. I pulled up the word for you there. Worried, right? Which we already know, pretty much broke it down already in essence. Simply put, but I just want to make a quick comment. The prime minister of this country, he said, we're not going back to the old way. Okay, and that's the sentiment of every world leader, especially, from the 7 heads and 10 horns. They're all saying the same thing. Okay, they're not going back to the old way. So yes, but you read the precept and it says they're worried in the multitude of their witchcraft. That's what the Bible says. I'm not making it up. It says sorcery. Counsels. So this word, so it says tired, exhausted, for the word weary, and exhausted, dispirited by trouble, heart sick. Okay. To wander, to totter. Right. I just thought I'd bring that word. And the final one there, it says intoxicated, man.
That's right.
So they're done. There's no turning back. Hey, the Lord has done it.
That's right.
Jehovah Hashem Yahushua has done it. Okay?
That's right.
So, and his word is not coming back to him void. So that's it.
That's right.
Just wanted to bring that out.
So I got this. So I got this here, Isaiah 47, right, in chat, and I asked chat to tie this into, the top, health ministers and experts of the world, right? And it was beautiful. So let's see, Isaiah 40. I tied Isaiah 47, 11, 12, and 13, right? So verse 11, right? It says, "Sudden calamity, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know." Okay, so it says here, this is surprise judgment, not warning, no warning label, no press conference, no 2 weeks to flatten the curve. What Isaiah describes fits the pattern of what men now whisper as disease X. Okay. Even chat know what Isaiah 47 is getting into. It says, I'll read it again. This is surprise judgment.
Sudden.
No warning label, no press conference, no 2 week to flatten the curve. What Isaiah describes fits the pattern of what men now whisper as disease X. Unknown origin, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, right? Uncontrollable spread, thou shalt not be able to put it off.
That's right.
Sudden collapse, desolation shall come upon thee suddenly.
That's right.
The sin here isn't ignorance, it's arrogance.
Mhm.
The belief that man has mapped every corner of creation, that nothing can escape the lab coat and the algorithms. Isaiah says calamity doesn't knock, it falls. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay, so verse 12, it says, stand now in thine enchantments with the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. It said this is razor sharp sarcasm. God is saying, all right then, bring out your experts. Show us your magic.
Show us.
Right? In ancient terms, enchantments and sorceries were attempts to control unseen forces for power and profit. That's exactly what C19 was.
Mhm.
That's exactly what Disease X is. Translate that into modern dress, into modern dress and lab lighting, and the parallel is hard to miss. Scientists, chemists, and medical authorities revered as saviors. Global institutions trusted as guardians of health. Secretive research justified as for the greater good. That's illegal gain of function. Gain of function work, altering viruses to outwit nature itself, which can't happen because everything is controlled and conducive within the Lord's hand, within the Lord's control and timing. Okay.
Mhm.
Slacking. Okay, so it says that is modern sorcery, not spells and incense, but man rewriting what God made, convinced he can steer chaos without consequences. Isaiah mocks it. If this is your wisdom, now is the time to use it, and yet it fails. Right? The core precepts that Isaiah exposes: knowledge without humility becomes witchcraft.
Mhm.
Power without righteousness becomes judgment bait. Power without righteousness becomes judgment bait. Yeah, exactly. So Esau's asking for judgment with what he's doing. He's asking for it. He doesn't know it, but he's asking for it. And he's gonna get it. Okay. Thus saith prophecy in the scriptures. When man claims godlike control, God allows sudden disorder. Isaiah is not saying knowledge itself is evil. He is saying unchecked mastery divorced from fear of the Lord, right? The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, is a lie. And when that lie collapses, even the best minds will have no answers. Okay? No cure on the shelf, no consensus on the screen, and only confusion where certainty once bragged. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah, chat was going in with that one. Last verse here, it spoke on verse 13 as well. If I'm not mistaken. Bear with me here. One moment. Yeah. So verse 13, it says, Isaiah 47:13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Right? Verse 13. So it says, this is counsel overload. Too many experts going into the Lord is going to he's going to send an arrow, right? What I read in Psalm 64. And that arrow, that word means divide. Okay? So that's that division. So it says, this is counsel overload. Too many experts, too many models, and too many panels, and not an ounce of truth strong enough to save.
That's right.
It says what the verse is saying plainly. Wearied in the multitude of thy counsels, not strengthened, exhausted, endless meetings, projections, stimulations, policy drafts, emergency briefings. Noise without wisdom is just fatigue dressed in authority. Damn. Astrologers, stargazers, prognosticators. In Isaiah's day, these were the elite interpreters of hidden knowledge, the ones paid to predict future and calm the people. It says today, swap robes for lab coats and titles. Epidemiological modulars, biosecurity councils, global health summits, predictive algorithms, and scenario forecast. God's tone is biting. Call them up. Let them save you. They can't. Tying this to disease X. Disease X represents what escapes prediction. It says it doesn't follow the model. It mutates past expectations. And you read Deuteronomy, how the Lord is going to put out diseases and plagues that are not even written in the book.
That's right.
Okay? So it says, so it really and truly, it doesn't escape prediction, but the fact that it's not written and it's new is prediction in itself, because the Lord told us that in Deuteronomy 28, like you read. It outturns consensus. It exposes disagreements among the experts. Isaiah is describing a moment when the people look to the highest authorities, the ones who claim foresight, and hear contradictions instead of clarity. One says lockdown, another says don't panic, another trust the science, another the science has changed. Was that not C19? That was C19 all the way through. Okay. It says many counsels, no deliverance. How this connects to gain of function. Verse 12 exposes sorcery. Verse 13, the aftermath. It says gain of function promises foresight. We'll know what's coming before it arrives. Isaiah says no. Save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. That's a quote. Not if they come. When? The ancient warning, modern clothes. Ancient warning, modern clothes. Isaiah 47:11, sudden disaster. Isaiah 47:12, false mastery. And Isaiah 47:13, failed experts.
That's right.
That's the pattern. It says the pattern is ironclad. The pattern is ironclad. Man claims control. Man trusts his counsel over God. God allows confusion. The counsels cannot save. It's not anti-knowledge. It's anti-pride.
Straight.
Okay, and that's basically it. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All right, we'll finish up a little bit more in this. Oh, you got something?
You know what? I'm going to bring it out and make it my last precept, but be real quick about it. Wisdom of Solomon. I'm going to jump in that chapter, the second chapter, right? I'm going to jump right to the 21st verse, right? I'm going to read, just simply put, going into it, because I like what it says there, right? The first verse I'm going to read, it says, "Such things they did imagine and were deceived by their own wickedness. I blinded them." And I grew up in a time where there was a big song. It was a big hit. The guy is dead now. It says, the song was called "He Blinded Me with Science." Okay. Thomas Dolby. So this is exactly what's happening. It's happening to Esau. His pride and so forth like that is blind him, right? But the song says, "He blinded me with science." We know who the he is. It's Yehovah Hashem Yahushua. He's in control of this clay. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to read real quick down to verse 24. That will be the point. It says, as for the mysteries of your power, they knew them not, neither hoped for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. So yeah, they were blinded, right? Blinded in their wickedness, right? On one side, he's playing the Most High wicked, and once now we know that this passage I'm reading is also twofold. Okay, going into our people. Just want to be clear with that. Okay, verse 23 says, "For our power created man to be immortal." Which man? The elect and the nation of Israel. The elect on this side, okay, and the nation will come back to the Lord's elect, right? And as we can clearly see in the place that we live, there's a person pretending and telling us that we can live forever artificially. Right?
Artificially, yeah, you're right.
So our power created man to be immortal, the elect, and made him to be the image of his own eternity. Right? Clear. So this is a distinction here. Right? This is the true new world order for us, for the elect. The Lord's hope for the elect.
That's right. Immortality.
Immortality. Right? From the Lord.
Esau,
Final verse. Okay, take your time.
I was going to say, Esau doesn't understand. I mean, maybe he does, really. I mean, he does understand. I guess he does understand that word there, man, is pertaining to the Israelites. It's not every man. It says God created man to be immortal. That man is pertaining to the Israelites. But like you said, he's trying to obtain immortality through his artificial means.
Beautiful. Well, the verse up confirms what you said anyway prior to that in regards to him understanding. It just says, "I'm going to show it, the Lord, I'm going to show it to you, but you're not going to get it."
Yeah, because he thinks he was tricked out of it, and
there you go.
Yeah, as you read the story, yeah, you could say he was tricked, but really, if the Holy Spirit is dealing with you, he actually gave it up. He didn't care for it. He wasn't prudent. His whole personality towards his blessing and his birthright was, what does that do for me right now? Right? He wasn't thinking about what it could do for him in the future. So he's a carnal man. He's all about right here, right now. Fast food. Right?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Everything right here, right now. Instant. The flesh.
Simply put. And when he forecasts the future, it's still carnal.
Exactly.
He's in the trick bag. Final verse. Wisdom of Solomon 2:24 says, "Nevertheless, through envy of the devil," right? This word here, deceiver, came death, right? That's the order of death, right? How the Lord set it up, came through the deceiver into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. That's right. You hold with him, that's it for you.
That's right.
You're gone. If you're set up for that, so be it. That's it, brother. That's all I got.
Yeah, because ultimately, taking hold is going to lead to you taking hold of that chip.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to find yourself dead. Okay.
Feels
By
good.
the way of thermonuclear fire and the ice and the chariots of the Most High.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so a little bit more in here, and I got one last precept for myself, and that'll be it.
Go ahead, brother.
Years. Peter Daszak.
About who made it?
You know, vaccine developers have been talking about disease X for years. Peter Daszak at the EcoHealth Alliance, who had a hand actually in the Wuhan Institute of Virology and with the NIH, and Ralph Barrick in the whole origins of SARS-CoV-2. He wrote a piece, I believe, in the New York Times in 2018 on disease X. Disease X is not a real disease. It's a concept of, can scientists use gain-of-function research and make it serious disease in the lab and then make a vaccine to it? So it's a strategy. And what Daszak says is we want to get ahead of nature, try to anticipate what nature is going to potentially evolve, and then create this new pathogen in the lab and have the vaccine ready to go.
And the disease X that has hit the headlines lately is, as I understand it, if I remember correctly, a modified coronavirus that affects brains and was shown to kill mice quickly. Is that what I'm hearing? This particular disease X of hand lately?
Well, yeah, it was a modification of a coronavirus. And again, back to Peter Daszak, the EcoHealth Alliance employs dozens and dozens of scientists. They're funded by the U.S. government. He's just been funded again. He's not taking the research projects to Wuhan, but he's going to Duke University in Singapore to work on bat coronaviruses, to actually do more coronavirus research. And we know that gain-of-function research is done outside the United States. It's not banned in the United States. It's just the federal funding for U.S. institutions is banned. So there's foundation work and independently funded gain-of-function in the United States, and then it's a gain-of-function bonanza outside the United States. And I think, if anything, our world leaders ought to look at gain-of-function research and really ask a question: is this wise to do? We've already gotten the world sick once with this. Is this going to be a repeating problem?
Passengers.
Good luck.
Well, hey, yeah, exactly.
Arriving in the Indonesian island of Bali are in for a surprise. Thermal screenings are back at airports in some Asian countries.
Yeah, so, let's get here. Second Esdras, or I'll get Micah 2 and 1, NLT. It says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night thinking up evil plans? You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out simply because you have the power to, right? That's the top global elites, right? And for everything they've done for the time that they've been in rulership, man, the judgment that they're going to receive in the time of their captivity under the Israelites, starting with the hopeful elect, all right, Yahushua and the elect on down, is going to be horrendous. The judgment they're going to receive.
That's right.
The Lord is not playing when He says, "What sorrow awaits you?"
That's right.
1,000 years.
That's right.
All right. Of you being put under captivity for your wickedness, man. It's going to be horrendous in righteousness.
We know it's going to be wonderful, right?
That's right. Wonderful. Yeah. It's another good word. Micah 2 and 1, it says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans? You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so. Okay? So let's jump from here, and we'll go to 2 Esdras 16. I'm going to jump around in this chapter. We'll go from 5. This is the GNT. It says, I am sending disasters on you, and no one can stop them from coming. Can anyone stop a hungry lion in the forest, or put out a fire in a burning straw, or turn back an arrow shot by a strong archer? When the Lord Yahweh sends disasters, no one can hold it back. No one can escape the blazing anger of the Lord. Okay? We'll skip down. We're gonna go. And so this is it, man. This place is finished. DJ Trump is finished. America's finished. And Esau Edom, you're finished. Okay. Let's skip down 16. It says here, the disasters are on their way to the earth, towards the earth, and like an arrow shot by a strong archer, they cannot be turned back. I am doomed. I am doomed. Who will rescue me in those days? And this is a righteous man saying this. So how much more for you rebellious Israelites, man? Damn. Troubles will come, and many people will groan. Famine will come, and many people will die. Wars will come, and the world powers will tremble. Disaster will come, and everyone will be terrified. What will people do when these disasters come? Famine, epidemics. Okay, this is the heart of what we're talking about in this lesson. When you look up the word epidemic, what does it say? It says here a comprehensive list of large known epidemics and pandemics caused by infectious diseases in human ranked by death toll a year. So it's an infectious disease. Okay, that's what an epidemic. You go into the meaning, it says a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community at a particular time. All right, so we're going back here. 2nd Ezra 16 and 19. Famine, epidemics, troubles, and sufferings are sent to punish and correct people. But in spite of all this, they will not turn away from their sins. They soon forget their punishment. You see? So that means, all right, that it's going to get worse. Right? Because they have to, you know, they have to acknowledge their sins, and they have to eventually be destroyed, those that won't acknowledge their sins. Okay? So this is going to it's only going to get worse. I'm going to skip down, read 35, and this will be it. So verse 35, it says, now listen to my message, you people who serve the Lord. It is the Lord's message, so receive it and believe what he says. The disasters are approaching rapidly, and they will not be delayed. A woman in her 9th month of pregnancy may suffer labor pains for several hours. But when it is time to come, when the time comes for the baby to be born, there is no longer any delay. In the same way, the disasters that are coming on the earth will not be delayed, and the world will groan when it's caught in its labor pain.
That's right.
Okay? Listen to my message, my people, and get ready for the battle. Okay? It's going to be a spiritual fight. Okay? When the disasters come, you must live as people. You must live as people whose homes are not in this world. You see? Because everything is going to be, everything is going to fade away. Okay? Everything's going to fade away.
Right.
All right? So this will be the last one just for a comfort. This is 2nd Ezra 2 and 24. Be calm, my people. Your time to rest will come. Take care of your children like a faithful nursemaid and guide their steps in safe path. And that's kind of like what the hopeful, what the prophets are doing with the rest of the hopeful elect. Right? Starting with the apostles on down in the spirit, so that none of them will be lost when the time comes. I will hold you responsible for them. You see? So we have to make sure we're doing the work.
That's right. It's
Okay.
All ordinances, yes. The Lord's ordinance.
That's right. It says, verse 27, don't worry when the day of trouble and distress comes. Others will cry and mourn, but you will be happy and rich. So Yahweh Ratazah, all right, he brings disease X to the world, man.
That's right.
Yahweh Ratazah. Okay. You want to get the hell out of here. 28, it says, the other nations will be jealous of you, but they will not be able to harm you. I will protect you with my power and save your children from hell. Okay, which is a condition. Okay, and yeah, it says, be happy, Jerusalem, which is what is Jerusalem? The word Jerusalem means teaching of peace, Yerushalayim in the Hebrew. All right, who's teaching the peace, true peace, the whole full elect? Okay, so when it says be happy, Jerusalem, it's talking about the whole full elect, starting with 144,000. You and your children, be happy, Jerusalem, you and your children, because I, the Lord, will rescue you. Damn. Yeah, that's it.
Straight. Beautiful.
Okay, so Disease X, man. The Lord willing, this lesson was straightforward and edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to close by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Prophecies. All right, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the whole full elect, starting with 144,000 on down. All right. Abba, Kwama Sha'ala, Shalom to the whole full elect.
Shalom to the whole full elect.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. That's right.